So it's been over 1 year since Star Wars Battlefront 2 has been released. Now there's been various bugs and buffs and nerfs and tweaks and all kinds of different updates over the past year that have changed heroes since our original video that we did on this channel. Me and Cookie ranked the top heroes based off of how powerful they were from worst to best. Now, in this video, I'm going to do an updated version of that. There are 9 total heroes and villains now. Let's rank the current ones that we have, starting off with number 9, which is Boba Fett. Now, as much as it saddens me, I used to think that Boba Fett was the best hero out of all the heroes and the villains. I thought he was just amazing with his rockets. I thought his jetpack was fine. He was just my favorite hero to use ever since like the beta and the initial release of the game. Now, I think he's the worst out of all the heroes and the villains. I think he is just horrible. He's so bad. So many things can knock him out of the sky. Explosive rounds, grenades, force powers, you name it, it can knock Boba Fett out of the sky. And then, I mean, once he's out of the sky, he goes through this animation, he's falling. He falls, he lands, and then he stumbles around on the ground for a few seconds, and then he's susceptible to all kinds of damage as he falls to the ground. They made a little bit of a change to his jetpack and made him faster. I like that change, but I don't like the fact that he can get knocked out of the sky from everything. It's really annoying, and it makes him, like, Boba Fett should be one of the better heroes because he's freaking Boba Fett. He's one of the most iconic, badass-looking heroes in all of Star Wars, and everybody outside of Star Wars, I mean, everybody knows who Boba Fett is. He's freaking Boba Fett, and they just tweaked him too much, and now he sucks. So number 9 is Boba Fett. Next up on the list is Captain Phasma. Now, Phasma and Boba Fett were kind of going back and forth for my last place, but I decided to go with 8th place is Captain Phasma. I think her droid is at least okay at stunning heroes and stuff. Her staff is garbage. Recently, they've given her a star card where if you get kills with it, you can heal yourself, which is a joke. Her staff is horrible. Never use it in any situation. If you're, for example, if you're going up against a saber hero, their base attacks with a saber is better than your ability with a staff. Now, yes, that makes sense because it's a lightsaber, but it doesn't make sense in terms of balancing because her staff strike is 1, it's too slow, 2, it doesn't do enough damage, and 3, it's not worth it to use it for healing. So her staff ability is complete garbage. Her blaster is basically a pea shooter. You pretty much have to overheat your weapon just on 1 infantry unit just to kill them. Like it's really bad and it's inaccurate. So Phasma definitely takes 8th place on this list. Next up, I decided to go with Kylo Ren. Now the reason I decided to go with Kylo is because his frenzy ability glitches way too often. Like it will just completely miss a target. I couldn't tell you how many times I've used the frenzy and it will just launch me into the sky and you'll swing at nothing and then you'll just die because you swing and you miss at absolutely nothing, and here you are swinging while everyone can attack you. His stamina is really horrible, so he can't block for very long. Sometimes his freeze and his force pull will just completely bug out because like all force powers in this game, they glitch way too often. So you'll be in a position where there's like 5 or 6 guys and you expect to freeze them and then it does nothing and then you just get wrecked because you're stuck in the animation doing a freeze or a pull. So I decided to go with Kylo because he's just too buggy. His stamina sucks, and I mean, on paper, when you look at his star cards, he sounds like he would be pretty good, but just overall, when you use him, he's just not the greatest. I mean, his abilities just don't work as well as they sound. So Kylo Ren takes number 7. Number 6 on this list was actually really close. Now, I actually ended up deciding on Bossk. Bossk is really good at cutting off objectives. Like if there's a hallway or something, you can just throw down your poison or you can throw down your bombs and you can block off a hallway. The problem is Bossk can't take very much damage. He doesn't have a health star card because he can regenerate his health fully on his own, so you often have to just completely run away and hide and just wait for your health to regenerate. Well, while you're hiding and you're waiting for your health, you can easily get picked off because he just can't take very many hits. I don't think that Bossk is a bad hero. Now, the rest of this list is pretty close. Like, I think the remaining, 6th place all the way up to 1st place are all pretty decent heroes. There's a pretty huge gap between 7th place and 6th place. I at least feel confident while I'm using any of the remaining 6 heroes. If I use Boba, Phasma, or Kylo, I feel like it's a death wish just by picking any of those 3 villains. So I think Bossk is a good villain, but he takes number 6 on my list. Coming in at number 5 is actually Iden Versio. Now back at launch, I used to call her Iden Suckio because she was just so bad. Her shield sucked, her droid sucked, her pulse cannon sucked, and since then, she's seen quite a number of buffs. Her pulse cannon is actually pretty good now, so she's good at a distance. Her shield can actually take a lot of hits now compared to launch, so she can actually withstand a lot of damage with her shield. Some explosives can still go through the shield, which is okay, but it's not nearly as bad as what it was at launch. And then her droid is freaking beast now. Her droid can stun lock an entire room. The stun locks in this game are a little overpowered, so anybody with a stun lock ability is kind of broken in a sense if the ability actually works. Now her droid tends to work a little bit better than Kylo's freeze in some instances for me. Now you do have to spam the button, which is kind of annoying. Like you can't just tap the button and then the droid goes out. Like you have to actually tap it 2 or 3 times before the droid figures out that you're wanting to deploy it. So the ability is kind of bugged in that sense, but I mean it's really powerful against stun locking heroes. It can stun lock an entire room of infantry, and then you can just secondary fire and wipe out everybody that's stun locked. And now her droid has the ability to heal you, so if you stun lock like 3 or 4 people, they're frozen, you get extra health, and then you can kill them as they're frozen. So overall, Iden has seen a huge improvement since launch, and now Iden is nothing like her former self. She is no longer Iden Suckio. She has earned her title. She is a good hero, and she comes in at number 5. Number 4 on my list is Palpatine. Now Palpatine has seen a number of nerfs. Palpatine was broken for an entire month. Palpatine was overpowered as balls. Palpatine was easily one of the best heroes in the game for the longest time. But he's going to come in at number 4 for me since he's seen probably 3 or 4 nerfs now. He's still really good. Like you can run in. I don't think anybody can clear a room better than Palpatine. You can just activate your Dark Aura, turn on your little Sith Tornado ability thing, run into the room, chain lightning everybody, and then you'll just wipe out 5 or 6 people at once like it was nothing. So you can just run in, chain lightning, get all your health back, and then run away. So Palpatine is really good. He can stun lock people too with his electrocution. It's not as good as some of the other stun lock abilities in the game because its range kind of sucks, but I mean, his electrocution is pretty situational, but overall Palpatine is really fast. His dash, I feel like his dash is more important compared to most of the other heroes and villains in this game because his dash is his spin. I mean, his spin is one of the primary ways that you travel using Palpatine because, I mean, it's a lot faster than actually running as Palpatine. And then his jump ability, like he just jumps and glides, so you'll always see Palpatine basically levitating and zapping the hell out of everybody. So Palpatine will take number 4 on this list. Okay, up next is Darth Vader. Darth Vader is very tanky. He can just take hits. You activate his middle ability, and depending on what star cards you have, you can just truck all kinds of damage. And then you can just keep healing yourself. You have overshields. You can choke everybody. The only downsides with Vader is one, his choke leaves you susceptible to all kinds of damage. If you choke people, you can't really cancel it in time. You can't block like the first Battlefront game. You could just multitask. Like you could block and choke people, which was great. I love that about the first Battlefront compared to this one. I mean, you choke people and then you can get shot by like 50 people at once and then just die. You'll get stuck in the animation. But other than that, if you activate his Focused Rage, he will one-shot infantry. His lightsaber gives him some range to him. And overall, he's just a scary villain. Like, you see him on the battlefront, and you just turn around and run away because you know you're probably screwed. All right, coming in at second place is General Grievous. I didn't think General Grievous was good at all when he first came out. I thought he was absolute trash, and I hated it. But once you leveled up his star cards to purple, he's amazing. Like, his 1-star card lets you one-shot infantry. It will one-shot everybody but the heavies. Now, the heavies take 2, but I mean, it's still No other saber hero can really do that but him, which is great. I can't emphasize how important it is in Galactic Assault when you're running around and you can one-shot people, because you can just hit one person and then run away, and hit another person and run away. And his claw rush ability is good at dishing out damage and running away at the same time. Like he's all about making quick attacks and then running away. So he's got quick speed and he does a lot of damage. Can't really take too many hits though, but overall I think he's really good. His unrelenting advance ability, the one where he whips out his sabers and he spins them around in circles, that is still not very good at all. I just never use it, so it kind of sucks that one of his abilities is kind of useless. But overall, I think he is great if you have the right star cards equipped, and that's why he's sitting at number 2. And then coming in at first place for the villains is Darth Maul. Now, Darth Maul has been one of the best heroes ever since launch, but the reason I am giving him number 1 is because ever since they gave all the heroes a Health Star card, he is even better than before. Now, Darth Maul can regenerate a lot of health. Now, his base health is 700, and you can take him all the way down to like 400, and he'll regenerate it all the way back up to 700. So if you stack that with a Health Star card, and you get extra health upon every kill, I mean, that's phenomenal. So he's really fast, he's hard to hit, he deals a lot of damage, he confuses enemies, he's just overall really, really good. He's good in Heroes vs. Villains, he's good in Galactic Assault. His Force Choke and his Saber Throw are both iffy, which kind of sucks. Like I couldn't tell you how many times I've Force Choked people and it didn't work, or I've Saber Thrown and missed because it just glitches out and it'll like phase right through them. So his Saber Throw is kind of one of those useless abilities, kind of like with Grievous, very hit and miss. Like it's not reliable in any way, shape, or form. But he can just regenerate so much health, and he's so fast that I gotta give him number 1, especially in Galactic Assault. On maps like Kashyyyk, he's just an absolute beast because you can't hit him. He's just, depending on the loadout that you have, he can do 3 spins and he can regenerate them fairly quickly. Overall, I think he is probably one of the best villains in my opinion. But like I said, I think the top 6 was pretty close for me. I think it just depends on sort of the situation that you're in. Like, I think the top 6 are in a completely different league than Boba Fett, Phasma, and Kylo. Now, Kylo isn't as bad as the other 2. Like, Boba Fett and Phasma are just dog shit. Like, they're horrible. Like, I would rather have an infantry or easily a reinforcement like a Wookiee warrior, or I guess since we're talking about the villains, I'd rather have a super battle droid than Boba Fett, easily. Hands down, it's not even close. Super battle droid beats Boba Fett any day. But that is my opinion. That is my list on the top 9 villains ranked in order. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Leave me your rankings down in the comments. I'm interested to see how you guys would rank the villains. And if you made it this far, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to check out another video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I will talk to you guys next time.
We would be honored if you would join us. You cannot resist